Hello, my friends. We are live, and there's a big show coming up at the City Winery to celebrate 60 years of the Beatles. It's called Come Together. It happens every month, different theme every month. That's the theme this month. And here are my guests, the people who put that on. It's Chachi and Stephanie and John. That's Chachi Loprete, Stephanie Loprete, and John Logan. Chachi's a Beatles wizard. Stephanie is the executive producer, and John is a Beatles magician. Unlike Chachi, who's kind of, he's an actual magician. Chachi's not an actual wizard. He just knows a lot. and it all comes together to be quite a spectacular thing. And something we're going to do a little differently today is show you some photos, just a little quick tease of a photo for the folks that don't stick around long. All right, we're going to tell you what's going on in a little more detail later. But hello, folks, and we're very excited for this month's thing, which happens on Sunday the 14th, right? Sunday the 14th of January. This year's flying by, right? It's almost over.
Yes. Well, yeah, I guess you could say that. But thank you for having us on once again, Bradley. And we're very excited this Sunday's show come together, celebrating 60 years of Beatlemania. This is a big year for us. Lots of 60th anniversary events. This month, we're celebrating Beatlemania, which started in 63 in England and then came over to America in February 64. So in February, we're doing our Ed Sullivan 60th anniversary. But this Sunday, we're celebrating Beatlemania. So we're very excited.
All right. And for the folks that, we want as many folks as possible to understand right away what goes on, I'll give you the quick rundown, and then my guests here will give you more detailed information. On Sunday at City Winery on the 14th at noon, you are going to come down and see the show, and the show will include, I come bounding out and introduce the show and introduce our hosts. And in the meantime, Stephanie's doing all kinds of stuff in the background. And right away, the show gets started, and it includes real magic from a real Beatles magician who used to be the New England Patriots magician and so much more. And it includes prizes, and it includes live music from Sal Baglio. No, from Kook. What is it, Chach?
They're called Cooked Out, and they're very cool. They were nominated for a couple of Boston Musical Awards. They're very hip, and we're very excited to have them, and they're huge Beatle fans. And Steph, there's something even bigger about the band Cooked Out, right?
Cooked Out.
Yes, this performance will actually be featuring Nicole Nelson as a vocalist, and Nicole Nelson is also a Boston Music Award winner, and she is going to be fronting the band, singing Beatles songs. So it's a whole new twist with a female vocalist, a blues singer, doing a cool twist on a Beatles trip. So that should be like really heavy and great.
Yeah, and this goes down at doors at 11, right? On Sunday. City Winery, easy to get to, kind of in the North Station area. You can figure it out. And
free parking on Sundays.
Free parking on Sundays. You can eat. You're encouraged to eat during the show and drink adult beverages or regular beverages, anything you want. It's your day, especially if you're a Beatles fan. But even if you're not, even if you just kind of, I kind of like the Beatles. If you go to like one of these, you'll like the Beatles a lot more. And then I've gone to every one. Now I'm a Beatles freak. I think about the Beatles, not a freak, but I think about them all the time. And I start humming their songs and thinking, my God, how do they just are so good at writing songs and stuff. And so I really appreciate it, and you'll appreciate it, even if you're just a kind of mild Beatles fan. This says, hey, Barry Deloria says, hey, Chachi Loprete. Who's Barry?
Barry is a longtime listener of the radio show, and you know how this is, Bradley. You've been on the air for 40 plus years, myself as well, and listeners communicate often with you, and then they become friends.
Yes.
And so Barry has become a friend over the years. He's come to our Come Together shows numerous times. So hello, Barry. He's won prizes from us before. We give away a lot of prizes at our show. Mm-hmm. And you're right about the Beatles, Bradley. They were so great at writing songs, unique guys, and 214 songs, and never one is the same as the other. They're all different.
Yeah, and we produce the show in a way where I've had some of my friends come. They couldn't even name the 4 band members of the Beatles. They really didn't know anything about the Beatles, and they come afterwards and say they really enjoyed how we produced the show in a way where you don't have to be a Beatles expert. You know it's a sit back, relax, have fun sort of vibe. You learn, but in a really fun way, and they've had a blast. So we really produce the show in a way where if you're a Beatles rookie, you'll have a good time, and if you're a Beatles expert, you still have a good time. So if you don't know anything about them, don't worry. It's going to be a fun time regardless.
That's right. And I'm inviting my entire hometown, my current hometown of Brookline, Massachusetts, to go. And if anybody's listening to this and you're active on your town website, share this with them so that they know there's something cool to do on a Sunday. Not the same old thing, not going out to just a restaurant or just see a band, which is seeing a band's way too expensive. This is the best of all possible worlds. Good location, and tickets are. It's a low show. Always, it's set up that way so everybody can afford it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right. And it's a holiday weekend. It's Martin Luther King Day weekend. So
there you go.
Don't have to work the next day. But Beatlemania is a fantastic subject to cover because in a lot of ways it was bigger than the Beatles. So big that you couldn't even hear them, performing live in concert because Beatlemania just grabbed everybody. And it wasn't just the Beatles. It affected commerce. It affected other music. It sold magazines. It sold music. It sold other bands. I mean, it had so many legs, and that's why it's an interesting subject. And we cover several Beatlemaniacs who have followed their career path because of the Beatles, much like we have. So we have some interesting people we're going to spotlight who went on to meet the Beatles or have careers because of their Beatlemania. And that's what the subject is. It's about the craziness that surrounded the Beatles.
All right, let's give folks a real solid idea of what goes on there because it is difficult to explain verbally how fun it is. This is one of my favorite photos right here. I dig this one. No, that's not the one. Of course, I do like that one too. But this one,
that's our musical guest.
This shows how, the excitement of the place. Nice full room. And you guys, there's an energy in the room. I feel it when I come out. I enjoy it. And then you see the people eating, drinking, having a good time, being happy. That's the thing, being happy. It's all about being happy. Tell me a little bit about the photos as we go along.
Sure. Yeah. I think this one was maybe a year ago. We had I think that was our biggest show to that date. And it was just a really fun vibe. The crowd was really into it. And it was and I decided, let's take a selfie just because the crowd was just super into it and we had a good time. And like I said beforehand, we produce a show in a way with a little bit of everything for everyone, right? I perform magic. I have a background in magic. We tell some underground stories. We have live music. We give away prizes. We show some really rare film of the Beatles. And that was really fun. And here are a few of our regulars, Emily and Beth. They come to, I think, almost every show we do. And, yeah, they're really big supporters. I think Emily comes from New Hampshire to come to our show, and Beth comes to all of our shows. I think she was just in Liverpool a few months ago, so she travels all over. So it's really
doesn't Beth wear a dress with lights on it?
She sure does.
A Beatles dress.
She's got several.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah,
people dress up. People really get into it. They get their Beatle gear out.
This looks like a promo kind of photo you guys did, which is pretty fun. Wow, where'd you take that photo? It looks great.
Yeah, we did that at the winery. Our friend Hunter Hogue, really fantastic photographer, he took that, and that was a really fun photo shoot. I think that was that's when the winery offered us to do the residency. So we were like, let's have fun with this, and we did this great photo shoot. So shout out to Hunter. Thank you, Hunter, for doing that.
Yeah, and that's John magically putting cards in my Beatle boots. They just came out of nowhere. Those are my Beatle boots that I was wearing. But yeah, John, that's correct. And that was at the beginning of our residency. And here we are. We've done over a year, and we're booked throughout this entire year, every month.
Yeah.
And like I said, 60-year anniversary. September will be 60 years since the Beatles played the Boston Garden right down the street from City Winery. And so, yeah, that was the early stages of our residency.
And that's what's cool about the winery too. It's like a really cool hang. There's lounge areas, there's restaurants, big wraparound bar, the main venue, performance room. So there's something for everyone. It's a really cool vibe, and everybody shows up like immediately at the doors just to hang out.
Yep.
Yeah, there's always a big line. That's what I've heard.
Okay,
11 a.m.
let's take a look at. This was my birthday moment where you guys sang. Today is your birthday today. That was fantastic.
Were you surprised, Bradley?
I was super. Are you kidding me? I was very, very surprised. What are these guys doing? Because I don't really think about my birthday, as people, don't. and so it was a super surprise, and it's weird. It was weird. It's like being on the spot. Okay, here I am. No. And they gave me a nice, beautiful gift, which I used the other day. Thank you very much.
And thank God you found it, because you might have thought we just gave you a little box of chocolates.
Yeah, it's a good thing Stephanie said something. You know how it is with a gift card. You stick it in the bag with a bunch of other stuff. And you, unless you know it's there, you could throw it out. Every family's had situations where people have thrown gifts out.
Like Bradley's saying, look at these cheap guys gave us
No.
a candy bar.
Exactly, it's no man.
It's funny. I really did not think that.
That was Christmas.
Okay, so now we get into
You deserve it, Bradley. It's your gift to the world with your birthday that you are here.
Thank you. Now you might wonder how the magic looks on stage. How does John do magic on the stage? Beatle magic. So maybe John, you can explain this photo a little bit, and a couple of the magic photos that we have. It doesn't have to be this photo, but whatever you want to do to give people a sense of how it works.
Sure, yeah. So right there, I'm handing out big jumbo playing cards. We do use audience interaction with our show. So that's me handing them out and making sure they're all different and having them shuffle it up, and then I collect them and I do a trick with them. So a lot of the magic that I do uses everyday normal objects. I think a lot of magicians you see nowadays, they use these big fancy boxes or things that people don't recognize. My style is very modern. That's what people have told me. I like to hand things out. I like to borrow things from the audience. It's a very modern approach to magic, and you learn about the Beatles through the script of the magics as well. So it's very fun.
This photo is very important too, as you see the prize bags in the front. Those we'll talk about the prizes a little bit more in detail later, but this is a setup of the prizes. If you happen to win a prize, you get to choose generally which prize bag you want. A lot of times it's 1 through 7, right? And so you choose the bag. At least that's how it's gone in the past, and you get whatever's in there. And it's usually, well, it's always something very cool. Maybe a rare Beatles album. Maybe it's a good time to talk about the prizes that we have before we continue our little slideshow here. What do we got this week?
Thank you, Bradley. Of course, our monthly sponsor since day one. I mean, this guy. He has a record store in Dedham, Bob Walsh, called Cheap Thrills Music and More. He used to manage Tower Records. Tower closed. He opened a record store in Dedham. And every month, and for all my events, he's always provided original Beatles vinyl to give away. He will do that again. But also, we're going to have other prizes in bags. We're going to have a couple of books from our profile, Beatlemaniac profiles. We're going to give away a couple of their books. One right there, you see right there. And then I have some Beatle art prints that we will be putting in a bag or two. And so you never know what you're going to get. You could just get a candy bar like Bradley.
No, no one's ever gotten just a candy bar. I swear to God, I never thought that. I didn't think that at all. I don't do, nobody gives me, you're the only person who gave me any gift at all. So that, because I usually discourage it in real life, because then I have to give something back to them.
Oh, you've already done that, Bradley. You're our gift. You're our gift. You MCing our show. And
all right.
Bringing the energy.
You and I go back to November 82 or 81 when you started.
December 18.
December 18th. There you go.
82.
Well, I was there that night, and we've been friends ever since. And I tell you, Steph and I love you. I know John loves you too. So yeah, we're so grateful.
Thanks. So let's go to the next picture. Here we have. Oh, this is a key moment in one of the so-called tricks or experiments. As you can see, folks, they're big. So if you're sitting in the middle of the room, you're still included in the trick. It's not some little thing. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
What's going on here, man?
Sure, that trick, that one I was talking about the Beatles' subconscious brains and how they were thinking differently. Then we had people shuffle up those cards that you see right there. People shuffled them up, and then we played the song, and they actually end up shuffling it in the exact order that the lyrics actually go in. So it's really fun. A lot of the tricks I do, again, you learn about the Beatles, but in a really fun way. And I do actually want to recall back a few moments ago when Chachi was talking about the prizes, because the way that we give out the prizes, we try to do it as fair as possible. So when you walk in, this trivia, you fill out a trivia sheet, you put your name on it, you put it into the bag, and it's very simple. We put the trivia question up on the screen, and we'll just take out a random submission. And if you get that question right and your name is on it, you get to pick a prize. And so we make it really, really fair. We don't want to embarrass anyone if you don't know the answer. We actually encourage people to write down something funny if you don't know the answer.
Right.
And then sometimes we'll just give away random raffles, and we'll just pick a name out of the bag. It has nothing to do with the trivia. And if your name is on it, you get to win a prize as well. So it's really, we try to make it really fair. We don't embarrass anyone. And yeah, so it's really fun.
Okay.
Everybody has a chance, no matter where you come at the Beatles.
Yeah.
What's going on here, Johnny boy?
Sure. Yeah, that was actually, I think, one of the first shows we did. I like to use just really fun objects in the show. That's a dartboard. And I was talking about, from my perspective, how the Beatles, the three main reasons why the Beatles were successful was their music was different, their personalities were different, and they're at the right place at the right time culturally in the world. So it's kind of like throwing a dart, and everything got lined up for them. So we play a game of darts, and we do something with those numbers. And actually in the show on Sunday, I'm be using these big dice up on right here that I'm holding right here. So I like to use these really fun objects, and it's a lot of audience participation. Yeah.
Okay, this is I guess part of another. You can see prize bags, and you can see the albums up, the Beatles albums lined up in the back. What's going on here?
Well, that's one of our. We're preparing for a trick there, and that's obviously I'm on stage with John, and in reference to what John was saying about these magic tricks. Despite the fact we've been doing it with John for over a year, I have no idea how he does it. The guy is so talented. I don't know how he does it, but it's fun for us every time to see the magic.
Chachi and Stephanie and I, we watch and we try to figure it out. And we're backstage, we're right up close, and we can't. It blows us away. We can't figure it out.
Oh, thank you.
Here's a time. This was a big deal. This is a prize. Somebody won. Was it a Hofner bass, right?
That was back in June. As we said, every show's different, and in June we always celebrate Paul McCartney's birthday. So that was our Paul McCartney show. And pictured next to John is our dear friend Bradley Hirsch Gardner, who was in the band New England back in the day, big band that traveled all over the world performing. And he also manages one of the Guitar Center stores.
Yes.
And I reached out to him. I said, Hirsch, we're doing a Paul McCartney event. He says, I'm going to get you a Hofner bass, just like Paul uses. And he did. That's our contest winner, Beth, another listener, another person who's come to all of our shows, and we've come to know her as a friend. And we had a random drawing, no question. And he's, like John said, whether you know a lot, you can answer the questions. If you don't know anything, you're still going to be in the raffle. And Beth won just from drawing her name out of the bag, and she was blown away that she won that Hofner, courtesy of the Guitar Center Foundation.
Wow. And this is the hang either before or after the gig. A lot of people, you hang out after because it's still fun. The City Winery has a wonderful bar, restaurant area in the front. And you guys have a merchandise table. You can buy those cool T-shirts that you're wearing right now, among other things. And we all hang out after and meet and greet. And people hang out for quite a while. And this is a little bit of that. I think actually this might be the day May Pang came.
That is
John
correct.
John Lennon's lover of 18 or 19 months, right? She came in an Ernie Bach's replica of a Rolls Royce, made to look like John Lennon's, and It was a big day, and this was, as you can see, we're all very happy how well it went.
Yeah, it was great, and that was a really nice thing to have May in town. And thank you, Ernie, for letting us use your Rolls Royce. But also, I want to recognize the photographer, Leo Gozbekian. He's a great photographer. He's a big supporter of our show. And there we are. And May Pang is over to the right somewhere. But that was a lot of fun.
Yep. All right, you guys. So everybody, you got the idea. Sunday, 14th. It's only 1, 2, today, tomorrow, and then Sunday. Doors at 11. And then the show starts at noon, and you're going to dig it. It's not expensive. It's easy to get to. And you could win a prize, and you can eat, and there you go. And once you go, you're probably going to go again. A lot of people go a bunch.
Well, we hope so. But the other thing is, if you buy tickets in advance, you save a few bucks. Not a lot, but you save a few. And tickets are available at the door as well. And you go to citywinery.com/Boston. Or our official page, as you see under John's frame there, cometogetherproductions.com, that tells you about the show. It's an interesting show. It's different. No one in the world does what we do. We do it right here in Boston. We hope you come and check it out and celebrate 60 years of the Beatles with us.
And every show is different.
Yeah, we have a whole
Every
schedule for the entire year here. We have all the dates booked. We're going to send those dates to you, Bradley. So we can make sure that you have all those dates on your calendar.
Okay.
Oh, look at that person wants us to come to Fort Lauderdale. That's
Martin,
great.
yeah.
Hey.
We'd like to.
Shoot us a message.
Set it up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's
there's venues in Fort Lauderdale we can go to. We'll reach out.
Yeah, reach out to us at cometogetherproductions.com.
And for all you folks who think, I don't want to drive all the way into Boston, if you live on the North Shore, we got some big news for you.
Yeah, in February, we're going to be doing a Beatles night with Chachi, different from our Come Together production shows at the winery, but it's a Beatles night at Kowloon. February 17th, Saturday night, 7 to 10 p.m. Bradley J will be there, and John's going to stop by. We have Sal Baglio with his Beatle band performing a couple of sets of Beatles music, and it's a great price for
Buffet dinner.
for the world famous Kowloon all you can eat buffet. So
Which is included in the ticket, right?
that is correct.
That's a big deal, man. You get to go to the, a North Shore institution, Kowloon. Everybody has great memories of Kowloon, and you get to really go there and eat the buffet, included in the ticket price, and see the show, and without having to drive over the dreaded Tobin Bridge.
Yes, dinner and dancing, all of it. And so if you kick Valentine's Day to that Saturday, you've got a date night.
That's right. And Bradley, we do these Beatle Night with Chachi events outside of Boston to entice people to come to our show in Boston at City Winery. City Winery is a Sunday brunch situation. So it's different from a Saturday night, Friday night gig. But we want to get people to feel comfortable coming into Boston for City Winery. And I tell you, there's nothing better than going into Boston on a Sunday morning.
I know.
Great.
I know. So everybody, come and feel the buzz, have some fun. This is what it looks like, it feels like, and it does. And it's coming up in only 2 days. So get a cat sitter or whatever you got to do.
Yeah, and you know what? The food is great. I love the hanger steak. I love the shrimp dish. So the food is great at City Winery. You can have a nice Sunday breakfast beverage, a Bloody Mary, all those things. They have it all at City Winery.
Sharing menu, pairing menus.
And you eat and drink while you're watching the show. So it's a fun experience. And you know what? You're done by 2. The show's at noon. You're done by 2. And you can
prowl around the city.
You can go over to the North End for coffee, actually.
Espresso, yes.
At what's that place? The famous place in the North End where everybody goes for coffee. I can't remember.
But Bradley, you've been in Venice. You've been all over Italy. What a joy you are.
Yeah. Well, back at you. This is a good place to stop before we start repeating ourselves. So I am sharing this to my town, Brookline, Massachusetts, and share it with your town, because a lot of people in your town are like, it's cold out, it's gray, I want something to do, and you'll be their hero if you share this. So thank you all very much. We'll see you in a couple days, okay?
Thank you, Bradley J.
Everybody come together.
All right, exactly. Oh, wow.
Hey, look at that. What the hell?
Magic.
That is magic.